Hello. I am sorry to be a little bit late. It is my first day back to work after the holiday, and I am, it's been a busy day. And I'm so happy to be back. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be back. So, oh my goodness. Let's see if we can fix this now. We're in a different season of the year. Alrighty. Well, I cannot tell you how glad I am to be back. I am so hopeful that you all had a wonderful, fabulous, magnificent holiday season. And I want to say thank you for all of the well wishes and the birthday wishes and the New Year's wishes and all of the wonderful, wonderful wishes. And what else? I want to... oh my gosh, I'm just so happy that we're all back together. And oh, actually, let me turn my headphones off so the people on Instagram can hear good. Okay, so we have been talking about that this is a 9-year, and we know that there's going to be some stuff. Hello, darlings. That there's going to be some stuff this year. And so I had this feeling over the holidays. I was very excited that Kyle Gray, who is an angel expert, has a new deck of cards out. This is the 22 Archangels Oracle, and I thought, boy, why don't we get to have some Archangel guidance with us this year? So if you've been with me before, you've seen me, Happy New Year, do this with some of the goddesses, and that was awesome, and we'll probably bring them back as well at some point. But there's so much wonderful things going on, and so I just thought we would start with welcoming in the energy of an archangel before we got into our cards this for a couple of weeks and see how that feels. Also want to hello, so happy to be back. And I also want to just I want to express gratitude. And I know we talk about this a lot, just staying in that place of gratitude helps change all of our energy and helps us stay in a better place, regardless of whatever is going on. And so even for the hiccups and speed bumps, we stay in that place of gratitude. So I had a strong run this morning, so I am went a little farther for my second official run for the new year. So I'm totally like banging on the water today with the electrolytes. So forgive me. And I'm very excited that to share that I have been accepted as a vendor. This doesn't really help if you are not local to me, but I have been accepted as a vendor and a reader and hopefully a speaker at the Spirit Fest in Orlando, which will be at the end of March, so there'll be more information on that. I think I had shared that I have also been invited to join the Soul Journey Sundays team, so I will be participating as a reader and as a speaker for the Soul Journey Sunday. You can go to their website and find out more, which is very exciting. They just did a wonderful thing with Tony Stockwell, and they do a once a month Sunday event where you can go, you buy a ticket and you are guaranteed to get a reading from 2 different readers, and they have a whole stable of like 50, 60 readers, and depending on how many tickets they sell, depending on how many readers they have, so I'm very, very excited to be part of the Soul Journeys family going forward for this new year. Also have some new content that's going to be coming out this new year, and I'm very excited about that. What else? There was something else that is exciting that I wanted to share. Oh, okay, and again, if you are, whether you're local to me or not, I would love to hear your thoughts about this. So whether you're local to me or not, so in the years past, I have run a women's group. It was a live and in-person thing, and then COVID, and we did go to Zoom. And we are going to bring back the women's group. And this is a sister circle, so it is for the women. My apologies to the gentlemen. But this is for the women, and it is going to be, I think we're going to start the first one on the new moon at the end of January. January we're going to do in person, but I would like to know if there's interest in expanding this out to a Zoom group. And perhaps it becomes a thing where we do a new moon in person and a full moon in video, or vice versa, something. So I would love to know your thoughts about participating in something like that. And you can put a comment, you can send me a DM, you can do whatever. And so a sister circle will be around the new moon, where we are sitting in in intentions, and it hid your comment, but I can see where we come around the new moon, where we are setting intentions for that moon cycle, where we are coming together to love and support and lift. This one's going to be less ritual based, less zodiac based. It's going to be more of like, hey, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the universe right now, we need to come together and support each other. So like that. And then in the full moon it would be more release based. So it's possible that we could set up 2 circles, where we have the in-person circle and the Zoom circle. So I just am trying to gauge some interest to see. We are definitely going to start with the first new moon circle is going to be in person, and we'll see how that goes. But I would love to open it up to other people as another offering for our community of light. There would be a small donation, a love offering for that. So it would be like $10 a person. And what we had done last time, and this just pays for any resources that we use, and it also last time we took any of the extra money that we had, because we really were gathering funds, and we would periodically make donations to charitable organizations that had everyone's approval. So it was a nice thing that everyone could send in, like, here, this is my list of charities that I'd like to support. And so we would do votes, and we also had used the money to support Sisters in Need, which I think was even more important. So we had women that were part of our community, where we were able to say, okay, maybe it's just a couple $100, but we had the ability to donate that money to women that were part of our community that were in need. So so that's kind of the upshot there of the reestablishment of the sister circle. So if you are interested, again, you can DM me, or you can go to, there is a Facebook group that is called Circle of Sisters. You do have to ask to join, and so when you do, if you go to the Circle of Sisters Facebook page, and I think, Chris, you're part of that group, so if you maybe could pull up that, could you put a link to that group in the comments? It's just called Circle of Sisters, and there's a beautiful picture of the moon. So if you would like to be in the loop about what's going on, because I'm not going to spend tons of time here for that, we'll promote it a bit and see how we get going. But if you would like to be part of that, please go to the Circle of Sisters Facebook group and ask to join. Just make sure you put in the comment, or in where, how'd you hear about us, or whatever, that you're from here, so that we know, and that we can invite you into the group, and that way you'll be able to stay up on all the announcements and things as we go forward. So so that is, and it's open to anyone who would like to go. And again, it would just be a small fee to I think $10 is what we had done before. So so that's the update on that, and there you have it. Okay, so here's the thing. Today is January 6th, and it is January 6th everywhere, but in the United States, today is the day that the election results are certified. The new Speaker of the House, who is also the old Speaker of the House in our Washington, D.C. House of Representatives, has been elected, and our government is moving forward, for better or for worse, whatever your feelings about it are. Our government is moving forward, and there are going to be a lot of changes, and so I know there are a lot of strong feelings around a day like today, because we have seen 4 years ago this horrible attack on our nation's capital. So whatever it is that you're feeling, I encourage you really to honor that. Now, I would encourage you also not to live in that. Now, I know the holidays also are really difficult for people, and there are people who had very strong feelings about the recent election, and now that we're in January, we're in 2025, and the inauguration is just 2 weeks away, people are starting to feel a lot of different feelings. And so here's what I want to encourage you, because we have friends who immediately left the country. We have friends who are talking about leaving the country, and we have friends who have decided to stay in the country. We have friends who have been happy. We have friends who are concerned. We have friends who are in all the things. And so wherever it is that you are, I want to encourage you to honor that and to know that to the best of our ability, we are here to help lift, love, and support each other. And that is another reason for the sister circle, right? And that whatever is going to happen in our country, and this is something that I believe with all of my heart, but it doesn't make it any easier, right? Sometimes we know things to be true. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine whose daughter is really struggling in her first year of college, and we were talking all about things, about what was going on. Thank you so much, Chris. This is Chris has posted in the Facebook event. I can post this in the comments on the Instagram page as well, and I can put this on our YouTube channel. Y'all know we got a YouTube channel that whenever we're done here, we put this video over there. Okay, just in case you didn't know. So whatever it was that she was feeling, and one of the things that I said to her is, I said, I have this file folder in my head, and my kids are in their 20s now. I said, well, I have this file folder in my head, and whenever there was something that was going on with my kids that, like, let's just say, like, when they were little, we had to take them to the doctor, and they had to get their vaccinations and checkups and whatever, and shots and things. And, you hate to do that because you don't want to inflict pain on your little baby or your, child of whatever age that they are. And so I had this file folder in my head that was called I Fucking Hate This, But It's for Their Own Good. Okay. And that really, it still, continues when I see my kids, struggling with, their love life or their job changes or whatever it is. It's like, okay, they're handling their stuff. They're capable adults. They're out there in the world. They're doing a good job. And I can't stand sitting here with my hands behind my back, right? And I fucking hate this, but it's for their own good. Because you can't, at 25 years old, can't get in there and just be like, here, let me fix it. Get out of the way, right? We don't do that, hopefully. But it's the same thing for us with spirituality and with trusting the universe and working in co-creation with the universe. It really is the same thing. When we have things that are going on, we're like politics and war and, terrorism and things that we don't like, we come to this place of, I fucking hate this, and please excuse my language, I apologize, but this is how it's always been in my head, is I fucking hate this. But we come to this same place of, I hate this, but it is for humanity's good. And I say this because one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to get it together and realize that life is precious and that we have got to love each other and lift each other to create a society where we can all live and thrive, or we are going to destroy our planet. And it really is that simple. Now, none of that is hopefully a quick, it would be really great if we could get to the love part quick, but everything that is happening in our planet and in all the various countries, we're seeing this kind of a tug of war that's going on right now. And so our job is to stay in the light. Okay, so regardless of your politics, regardless of your religion or your faith or your background or where you live in the world or whatever it is, our job is to stay in the light. Our job is to stay in the connection of joy and gratitude, and to connect with each other and to lift each other up and to stay in this place of believing in the light, okay? So that when we get to see these things on the news that just are heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching and upsetting, and we want to, hey, and we want to just be like, what the heck is the matter with people? That we can come back to this place where we can say, all of these things are happening for humanity's own good, and one of two things is going to happen. We are either going to wake up and realize that we need to come together to love each other and support each other and lift each other in order to save our humanity and save our planet, or we're going to destroy each other. Okay? I personally hope we come together in love and support, and I know you do too. But whatever it is that's happening, to a certain extent, is part of a bigger process. Now, I am not trying to spiritual bypass. I'm not trying to simplify. I know that every single day it is heartbreaking, and we have all had loss, right? And we have loss that just feels like it is going to rip our heart out of our body and just stomp all over it, and losses that we feel like we may not be able to survive. Maybe we've had wounds that we feel like we may not be able to survive. But all of these things are part of what we came here for. And this is the thing that I come back to again and again, because it's really the only thing that brings me any kind of comfort, because there's those days where you just look at the television or the news reports and you think, what is going on? Okay, my dogs are barking. What is currently going on is my washing machine is spinning and it's going boom, 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 my dogs are barking. Okay. So when we have these moments where we are like, what in the hell is going on our planet, we come back to this place that says, you know what? I signed up for this. I signed up to come here and hold space and to be a bringer of light to anyone who would come into my space that would need some help and support as we go through, whether it's great times or difficult times, whatever it is. Because, you know, I spent 28 years now in Mary Kay Cosmetics, and if you followed me further at all, you know that I'm still a Mary Kay consultant, and that I spent a long time, you know, as a leader in this company. The dog timing was perfect. And Mary Kay always would tell us, especially as leaders, because we worked with all the women in our organizations, Mary Kay would always tell us that every person that we meet is either just going into a crisis, just coming out of a crisis, or in the middle of a crisis. And I thought that this was so true, because we're looking for that lull, right? When my mom would call and say what's going on, and I'd be like, not a damn thing, because it was really this marvelous thing to have nothing. Like, there was no drama, there was no, like, nothing great, nothing terrible, everything was fine. But those moments, while they're wonderful, they are fewer and farther between, and then they also do tend to get a little boring, right? So we're not looking for drama, but we are, you know, we don't really want to go through life like, you know, but that we signed up for this, and we chose to come here to be involved and to have experiences and to be part of humanity's evolution. And our job is, to the best of our ability, to continue to be part of the light and to bring others to the light. And so when we meet people and they say, oh, I'm so upset, I don't know what's going on, we say, hey, come and see, you know, have you ever thought about seeing things from this perspective? Have you ever looked at things from this perspective, that we are part of the light and that we are here to work towards, together, communally, to work towards humanity's evolution. Because I still believe, what I have believed for a long time, is that the light is rising. Okay, the darkness and the people who would restrict rights and, you know, cause wars and fight and power grab and money grab and would cheat and lie and all those things, I do feel like they are the that is the louder contingency, right? Because we know in any kind of a news cycle, if it, you know, as they say, is if it bleeds, it leads, right? If it's not, you know, there is so much good news out there, but we don't ever see it, okay? There's more bad news than we do see as well. So it is on us to go and look for the good things. And more importantly, it's on us to be the good things that can be light bringers. So somebody said to me today that I spoke to a new potential client, and they said, my gosh, you're just so warm and full of light. And I said, yes, that's the plan. So whatever is going on, that hopefully all the people that come in contact with us would be able to say that, regardless of what's going on. Now, look, we all have our moments, and we know that there's going to be things where we're just going to be like, I'm going to need a minute. I'm just going to need a minute. Okay? And shit happens. Okay? So it's not that we're not going to have bumps or walls or crashes or things, you know, God willing, you know, very few. But when we're not in the middle of a crisis and we're not getting ready for the next crisis, to have those moments where we can be the light, where we can remind ourselves to stay in the light when the shit hits the fan and the dogs are barking, and you say, how can I stay in the light in this situation? And we've talked about this for the last couple of weeks, right? About how can we, you know, stay in the hope of hope, right? In the hope of hopefulness. How do we stay connected to each other, to stay connected to the light? And this is a conscious choice, that in all the things, when things are going haywire and sideways and we're just like, I'm gonna need a minute, to be able to say, okay, how do I get reconnected to the light in this situation? How can I find the light in this situation? Or who can I call in this situation who can help me get connected or stay connected to the light? Okay, so these are the things that become very important to us. Okay, so if we can remember that, we can stay in a more powerful position. And I'm not talking about like, I have the power, like I'm going to be, president or something, but it helps us to stay in a more powerful position so that we are co-creating with the universe in a more powerful way in our own lives. Okay, so that is what I wanted to share today. That was what was asked to be shared today from Spirit, that asked to convey some information about how we stay in the light and how we go forward, knowing that this is going to be a tumultuous year. 2025 is a 9 year, and so we have 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 5 is 9. So we know this is going to be a completion year. This is going to be a year that we are bringing things to a conclusion. So the next year, 2026, will be the 10 year, will be the closing of chapters, opening of chapters. So we have this as a 9 year where we are going to see, think about it like the second sequel in the trio, right? It doesn't always have the greatest storyline, and it's not always the biggest hit of the movie if you look at movies that are in the trio, but that second movie is so important because it moves the plot along and it leaves you a big cliffhanger for the third movie, and it really conveys a lot of really important information so that you're prepared to finish up the story in the next chapter. Okay, so this is where we are. We're the Empire Strikes Back this year, folks. I mean, that really is it. We are the second movie of the Star Wars trilogy. Okay, so, or whatever your favorite trilogy is. So that's where we are. All right, so our archangel that is going to be with us for this week is Zadkiel, and he is, I love that he's all in the purple, and says it's time to release what's holding you back and step into a more radiant self. So we have this. Okay, so just have this as an underlying theme for what is working with you for this week. That we know that the underlying theme, the archangel that's really watching over us this week is Zadkiel, and he is talking about karmic release, releasing what is holding us back so that we can move more towards our most radiant self, which reminds us to stay in the light. Our most radiant self is in the light. Our most radiant self is choosing to be of the light. So again, these things are a choice. All right. Now, also, one more thing I forgot to say. Also, we are going to do I think next week, we're going to have, or later this week, as soon as I can get it put together, we're going to have a special sale on readings. So if you have been wanting to have a psychic or mediumship reading or a full-on card reading, something that you would like to have for yourself for this new year, we're going to be offering those things at a reduced rate. So that's going to be happening in the second half of January, and I'm very excited to be able to do that to help people get the gear started right. So, all right. And the reason I'm not doing these things like in the first week of January is because people are still like this in the first week of January, right? Because they took all the time off from the Christmas and they've got to get their cells back together and they're not ready to receive. But usually by the second half of January, people are like, okay, we good. We going forward. All right. What's going on with my headband? Hang on a second, because got all kinds of things happening. Exciting plans. It's very exciting plans. So we're going to do a couple cards for the collective, and then we'll do some card readings for you all. So I am very excited. There's many, many wonderful new things happening and some things I can't talk about yet. So are also coming as well. So very, very excited. All right. So what do we need to know about what's going on with us right now? And this is, so this is upside down. This is exchanging gifts. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck, is exchanging gifts, and this is upside down. This card is also 27, so 2 and 7 is 9, reinforcing the fact that we know that we're in a 9 year right now, and that we know that we are trying to go forward, and we're trying to, really get all the information that we need gathered and put together so that we can go forward into that third part of the trilogy, right? This is asking us, exchanging gifts when it's upside down is asking us, are we going forward for ourselves, or are we exchanging gifts because out of the goodness of our heart? Are we looking for like something back? Are we, what is the purpose here? Like, are we giving too much because we are trying to be needed or wanted? Are we giving too much because we're trying to manipulate a situation? Or are we giving from our heart? And so it just asks us, this exchanging gifts being upside down is just asking us to be careful about understanding our motivation and the motivation of what's going on around us, so that we are having the most beneficial exchange of gifts, that we are giving freely from our heart, and that we are giving from a place of light without concern of reciprocity, but that we're also keeping our boundaries in place as well, so that we are not over giving, we're not being manipulated, and we're not giving to manipulate. Okay, so we're coming from a place of purity from ourselves, but we're also being mindful of our boundaries, so we're not being taken advantage of, and we're not taking advantage of. Okay, all right, so what is the thing we need to be aware of this week? So as we are going, because this week when people are, and the reason exchanging gifts comes up as the first card is because, again, this week where people are just back to work, they're just back in offices, they're cleaning out mountains of emails and catching up on scats of mail and all kinds of things, and people are all like, wow, a little bit this week, and so we want to make sure that where we are putting our foot in, that we are making sure that it is for the right reasons. Okay, and so what else do we need to be worried about this week, or we want to be aware of this week, is the All That Glitters card. And All That Glitters reminds us, again, that we want to make sure that we are looking for the substance in the situation. We want to make sure we're giving from our heart, that we are accepting from our heart, and that we are not putting stock in things that maybe are all shiny and all flash, no substance, right? And this is card 16, so this is a 1 and 6 is a 7. So again, we have 7 being a prime number. 7 is comes into 9, leads us in as if you're doing, the odd numbers, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So you have the ability for discernment and discretion here. So I apologize, I used some nail polish over the weekend and it has not stayed. So we have the face here where we have discernment, that we can say we have the power to discern, we have the power for discretion, we have the power to make the decisions that are right for us, and not to follow the glitter. Okay, so that we're not being wooed or played by something that is all shiny and not, substantive and actually real for us. And so this is just a reminder that while things might be pretty and attractive and they might be pulling on us and we might be wanting to move in a direction, it's really important that we take a second and we get right back to our center, to the heart, to the solar plexus, to the sacral, to be like, okay, where am I in all of this? Like, what, how do I feel about this? And we want to ask ourselves these questions as well of like, well, what could happen if I went down this road, and what could happen if I go down that road, so we can zoom out a little bit. Because what happens with things with shiny is we're like, oh, that is so pretty. Okay, so let me see, I have this on my desk. I keep this on my desk because it's so pretty. Okay, so here is this beautiful moon-shaped crystal. And you can see in the middle, there is this gorgeous, glittery, shiny geode that has the thing in the middle. And so, but on the other side, it is still there, but it's a very small little spot. So which side do you think people want to look at when they pick this up? They're looking at the side with the big glitter, shiny, and they're not looking at the thing on the back. And honestly, I think it's very interesting, both sides. And so we want to make sure that we are looking at both sides of an issue, that we're not just being distracted by the shiny, that we're actually saying like, okay, well, what else, like what's behind this, what else is motivating this, what else is supporting this, where is this coming from? Because while shiny may drop out of thin air, there's usually some cogs of the story that have excuse me, that have percolating in the background. So we want to make sure we're digging a little deeper. We're not making snap decisions. Okay, so that's a really big deal. Okay, and what is the last thing we need to be aware of that's going to be most beneficial to us as we are going forward? And this is the building blocks card. And the building blocks card is 28. So 8 and 2 is 10, which takes us to the 1. So I love that we really have had a 7, a 9, and a 10, so that we are moving forward, right? And so this is the building blocks. And the building blocks card reminds us that it's really, there's no shortcuts, that we are going to get to our, that we're going to get to our place of success and our place of grounding and balance and abundance by going forward with honor, with integrity, with love, with light, and that we are not going to leapfrog over the others. It's one of the things I always talked about with Mary Kay, and I know I use this a lot for storytelling, because I feel like there's a lot of points that it can illustrate. When somebody starts in Mary Kay, they start at square one and they build their business step by step by step, the way anybody else does, and how fast or how big their business grows is totally up to them, but everybody is doing the same steps going forward. Okay, so we all are doing the same steps, and those of us who are not doing the same steps are maybe building a house of cards or building their house on a shaky foundation. And it's really important. Oh my heavens, what happened? What happened? Oh, gracious. Oh, sorry. I feel like a whole new tab just opened up. And you all were gone for a second. Those of us who are leading from light and living from light and are working together to bring light and to build light and create from light and co-create from the universe, we're building this solid foundation. And so this is just the reminder, again, that when we are building from the solid foundation and we are not getting caught up into the shiny, that we are not being manipulated by flash over substance, and that we are giving our gifts freely and expecting a return from the universe, and not necessarily a return from the other person. That we're giving our gifts freely, but we're also keeping our boundaries in place. Okay, and then again, reminding that we have this archangel who's helping us to become our most radiant self. Okay, because when we are going forward and building a strong foundation that's built from love and gratitude, we are not being blinded by things that are flash and not substance. We are getting and attracting the real flash and the real substance, rather, and that we are being blessed by the universe with all the wonderful things, that the universe is exchanging those gifts with us rather than exchanging gifts with other humans. We are now exchanging gifts with the universe, and that is how we move into our most radiant self. So, all right, so that was exciting. So let's talk about some individual card readings. So Chris Judd has made a comment that she would like a card, but I will wait until you tell me you are back. And if you are not back by the time we're finished, we will make sure that we have a card for you. All right, so if you would like a card, you know the deal. Put it in the comments. It says me, and we will get you a card reading to help you get through this week. So, and just remembering that we are staying in the light, we are staying as co-creators with the universe, and we are operating from the place of light. Because when we operate from the place of light, all the rest is going to work itself out. Okay? All right, so we have Sharon Goldstein, and then, nope, just tell me once, please. Just tell me once. Just tell me once. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see. Typos. Got it. Okay, so we've got Sharon. We've got, oops, where do we go? All right, we've got Sharon. We've got Ellen. We've got Michelle. All right, so we're going to do a couple over here. All right, so Sharon was first. Speedy. All right, so Sharon, this is a leg up, and this is 34. This is card 34. So again with the sevens, right? So we have these really, so 7 is such a strong number, because it is a prime number, and so there's a strength in this where you have this nice roof and you have the nice the side piece, and you have stability and strength in the number of 7, because it is only goes one direction. 7 is not a number that can be reversed like 8 or 2 or 3 or whatever. So 7 is a really strong number because it can't go along with anything else. It stands alone. It stands strong. It stands firm. Okay. So with this leg up, we are reminded that, and I love the thing with 7 because 7 is so solid, because you literally have, it goes across and it comes down, right? So once we get up and we're standing on that cross piece of 7, it is solid, right? We are solid because 7, it stands alone. Okay, so in this we have this leg up where we have, okay, yep, I saw that. Chris will get with you. I saw that. Okay, so we are with the leg up card and the 7. It reminds us that once we are going up, that we are going to be standing on something solid, and it reminds us that we also don't have to do it alone. That even though 7 stands alone, it works with all the others. It can't be divided, like it's, because it's a prime number. So, but it's okay. Math is not my thing. Okay, but so 7 stands alone as a prime number. However, so you can add it and multiply it and subtract it and all the things. It works well with all the other numbers, but it's a solid, stable, strong. Plant your foot in the sand. Plant your flag kind of a number. And so this is telling you, Sharon, that you have the strength is around you and that you're moving forward in the right direction, but that you also don't have to do it alone, and that when you ask for help and you're asking for strength, for assistance from those around you, whether it's the universe or humans, that you're going to be given strong, healthy support to move forward, because they're giving you this number 7 to stand on, okay, so that you don't have to do it all yourself. However, there's a part of this that is about learning and expanding your own mind. You have to be willing to ask for help, and then the other part of that is being willing to accept the help once it arrives, okay? So Sharon, just know that you don't have to do it by yourself, that you can ask for help if you choose to, and that when the help is offered, because here's where we are, right? Someone says, oh, can I help you? And we go, oh, no, I got it. right? It's harder for us, it's not always easy to ask for help, but it's often harder for us to accept the help. So this is where they're reminding you, okay? All right, Ellen Jane, this is card number 4, Higher Power. I love this card. I feel like it is so beautiful because I don't know if you can see. Okay, so here she is, the angel. She's here. She's got her, like, the beautiful light is glowing out of her top of her third eye chakra, and she's got her hands under her chin. And this is such a beautiful card. And so this card is the higher power. It's number 4. You've heard me say this 100 times. The 4 legs of the chair or table remind us about how stable and steady and how much strength is this, that we're standing on something solid. And so this is reminding you, similarly to leg up, that you are not by yourself in your current situation, that you have people. It feels like this is a mediumship thing, like there's people on the other side, Ellen, who are wanting to come in and help you, that you have loved ones in the spirit side that have been asking to come in to help you, as if there's been signs around you that you have been ignoring, like, oh, that's my so-and-so's favorite song. Mother, this feels like Mother, feels like Mother's favorite song had been playing, and you had, not to be rude, but to had sort of dismissed it, and that there is a female energy, mother or grandmother, that is wanting to come in and to help you, because it feels like there's been, this feels like this is giving me a headache. It's a really like a touchy situation. It's like complicated family drama that is wanting to get sorted out, and somewhere you're getting stuck in the middle of having to sort this out. And so they're talking about, like, let the higher power, let the spirit side help you to sort this out, and also to remember your space in it, that you don't have to do this alone, and to remember that you have those around you, those energies around you, that will help guide you through this, because it just give me this image of like a gauntlet, like where you're having to, like, go and, like, dodge all these obstacles as you're going forward. And so they're just talking to you about using your intuition and allowing those signs to come in, and then being willing to accept them. And so when the sign comes in, we're not blowing it off. Okay, so hopefully that is helpful for you. All right, so we have Michelle and Kimmy and Beth Belinda, and okay, so we have Michelle. All right, so this card is upside down. This is the Round and Round card. This is card 25. Round and round is the sacred geometry. At 25, we have this beautiful, like the Fibonacci numbers that go into the spiral. So we have this beautiful numbers. But 25, again, we have the 7, right? So here we have this thing that's solid for us to stand on. But when this card is upside down, it's like, hey, we're going around and around and around, expecting a different result. And so, Michelle, this card is really asking you to zoom out and see where it is that you're making the same decisions and the same, convictions over and over again. I don't like the same mistakes. We're doing the same things again and again, expecting a different result. It's not a mistake, because hopefully we're learning from all the things. We're just but we're not quite getting the thing that we need to be able to go forward. Okay, so Michelle, they're talking to you about that you're standing on solid ground, that you have all the things that you need to go forward, that it's going to be up to you to have faith that you can go forward. But they're asking you also to zoom out on this situation. This feels like this may have something to do with kids. This feels like it may have something to do with letting go and letting people staying in your lane, and letting go and letting other people do their thing, but trusting that zooming out and allowing things to play out on their own, where you may have to sit on your hands a little bit with this and just allow things to progress as they are trying to by the universe, because when you have this beautiful sacred geometry, you know that the universe is guiding it. And again, you have the 7 number, so you're standing on something super solid, definitely not alone, because that vertical piece of 7 is like that backbone, right? It becomes that backbone, and we're standing on something solid. So they're with you, but you just feel like they want you to zoom out a little bit and see this from a different perspective, and try to maybe handle a situation with a different energy. Okay, and again, it does feel like this has something to do with kids, as far as like boundaries, rules. Do you have a kid that's getting ready to go off to college, Michelle? Because it feels like something about letting go is also involved in this. Okay. All right. Kimmy. Absolutely. All right. I'm so glad that it's helpful, Ellen. Yay. Okay. Kimmy. All right. So Kimmy, this is also upside down, but this is card 40. So 40 is 4. So this comes back to that again, that support 4 legs of the table. And this is the co-create card. Okay. So we have this is the co-create, where we're the owl and the cheetah. And we've seen this before in the egg of possibility here as well. But this card comes in upside down, which is Kimmy, this is the card that says quit being stubborn. Okay, so when we pull this card, it says that you're trying to do so much that's for yourself, and they're trying to say to you, listen, you might be feeling like you're out here on the high wire all by yourself over the, you know, cliffs, but you've got all this potential that's here, and you have all this wisdom, and this is wisdom, and you have all this strength and speed and agility that is with you, but it comes in upside down. And so you have this 4 number that says, hey, you're being supported, you also have something strong to stand on, but it's really important that you are not trying to do it all yourself, that you again want to zoom out so that you can see things from a different perspective. Okay, so because if you look at the egg of possibility, he's all covered in cheetah spots like the cheetah. Okay, so you're definitely not doing it alone, but it's going to be important that you have this opportunity to zoom out and not feel like you have to do everything that you're for yourself. Now, Michelle says that she has no kids. Now, okay, so it does feel like there's something, Michelle, about that card that was about letting go and letting other people make their own decisions, about not trying to control the situation. So let me put it this way, because I'm wondering if it is about others that are around you that perhaps are acting like children, or where you're feeling like you have to be in charge of the situation, and they're saying, let's let, it's like taking your hands off the car steering wheel to see if your tires are in alignment. You take your hands off and your car should go straight, right? And so you're there if you need to step back in, but there is talking about taking your hands off the wheel a bit, not for any danger, okay, but just to see what allow other people to handle it. Okay, so as I say this, more comes in about not feeling like you have to be the one in charge, because we get this sense of like, I always have to be the one in charge, because if I don't do it, no one else is going to do it. And I know a lot of us have had that feeling, right? That it is okay for you to say, okay, I'm going to take a step back from this, and I'm going to see, we might take a minute, but somebody else is going to step up and be willing to take the wheel. And so this is just some things for you to think about, and because it is this feeling of that this is about letting go and letting other people spread their wings and have their opportunity to step in where we don't feel like we have to do everything ourselves. So Michelle, hopefully that makes more sense. We'll see. All right, so we had Kimmy, so Beth Boyd, and then Belinda. All right, so Beth, we have, this card is Clean It Up. So this is 21, so 2 and 1 is 3. This card is Clean It Up. I love it. We've got the elk and the broom, right? So this is about staying in your lane, very much so, and this is about keeping your own energy clean. And Beth, this is also about, so it feels like there's some energy practices. It's a new year. Maybe we've gotten a little bit lazy with some meditation or some grounding work, or maybe the crystals need to be cleaned as we're coming into the next, the full moon is going to be coming in about a week, so that we are not letting other people put their energetic contamination onto us. And it also feels like perhaps there may be a new crystal that you've been wearing a crystal or using a crystal for a really long time, and it feels like maybe that either needs to be cleaned, or that there's a new crystal that's going to be more appropriate for where you are now, because you're moving into a new place, a new level, a new space, needing a different kind of a crystal to do similar things, but that we're relying so much on this crystal, we need to like give it a break. And it's like leaning on somebody so much that we're just like crushing them. And so the crystals are perfectly capable, but sometimes we need something else. So it might be worth it for you to take a walk over or a ride over to your local crystal store and see what what resonates for you. Because this is just talking about keeping your energy clean, and it's also talking about staying in your lane and making sure that you're doing, you're keeping your eye on your own work before you put your mask on yourself before you put your mask on somebody else, right? So this is where they're talking about. Okay, so there's a lot of information today about staying in our lane, not having to do all the things for everybody else. Okay, and that seems to be our theme today. And so there's a lot of that similar information that we're hearing. Okay, all right. So Belinda, we have 18, and so the 1 and 8 is 9. Okay, so we have that, and this is the serendipity card. And so again, letting things play out the way that they are meant to play out. So the serendipity card allows us to trust in, encourages us to trust in the universe, that we are things are moving forward the way we want them to, and that things are moving forward the way they're supposed to, and now when the time is right, we're going to come back around to where we're meant to be. We didn't miss something, we didn't have a wrong turn, we just took the path that we needed to take for us to grow in order to be in the position to receive the things that we were going to receive anyway at the time that we would be ready to receive them. And I was talking with a girlfriend of mine this weekend who, very sneezy, who had wanted to study something earlier in her lifetime, and it just didn't. She had made a decision at that time to take a different path, and now where she is in her life now, she says, I really want to go back to this path. This makes a lot of sense for me. And she said, I can see where I wasn't ready to take that path before, but now with life experience and things that have, in her growth, that she feels like she's ready to take that path. And that happens for a lot of us, right? Where we have this place where we are, where we think that we've missed out on something, and so the serendipity card Belinda reminds us that we haven't missed out on anything, that we have taken the journey to prepare us and to bring us into the space to be able to receive the things that we've asked for. Okay, so the time of receiving is coming for Belinda, so that's exciting. That's really exciting. Okay, so we have Catherine, and remember that was a 9 card, so that's coming to the end of a chapter there. Okay, all right, so we have, where am I, Belinda. Okay, so Catherine, yes, we have Catherine, and then Chris. Okay, so Catherine, this is a 12, so 1 and 2 is 3. So you've heard me talk about 3, right, where we have like to me 3 is like the angel wings, the butterfly wings, but looking at it in the silhouette, and then you realize that there's more to the story because it opens itself up. And so this card, Catherine, is the change in the wind card. So you have the zebra who has got his house on his back, and he is moving into the wind. Okay, so this is about some things that are going to be a little bit more challenging coming up, Catherine, but for the higher good. Okay, so the change is coming, and this is really going to be a thing of standing firm, because you can see he's not walking, he's just standing, he's just letting things happen, he's observing. His head is not down, his head is not up. He is like, I understand the change is coming, I'm ready for it, I have everything with me that I need to have with me, and that we're being able to go forward when the time is right. Okay, so this card also is about patience and allowing things to unfold. Okay, and allowing the synchronicities that we've also just been talking about to happen. Okay, so things are developing. So Catherine, this card is a little bit about patience and knowing when to make your move. So think about merging on a highway. Just be patient, and you'll go when the time is right, and you'll know. Okay, all right. So we have Chris. And then, who did I just see? I saw Robin and Tracy. Okay, so hello, Robin, new here. All right, so we've got Chris, and then we'll come back. So hang on a second. So for Chris, that's interesting because we've seen this card before. I don't know if it was something we'd pulled for Chris before in the past, but this is regeneration. So this is card 46. It's so 4 and 6 is 10. So this is the culmination of a journey, right? And you can see when you turn it right side up, the regeneration card is like burn it to the ground. Right, and so if you have had the thing of like forest fires and stuff, and people go, oh my God, the ground is ruined, except that the carbon and the ash from the forest fires helps to fertilize the ground, and so quickly new things sprout up. So right now, if things are feeling a little bit overwhelming and things are feeling a little bit hard or complicated, like things are falling apart, it is really that you are getting ready to put things back together for new things to sprout and to come into fruition. I have this, I like to bake challah for Shabbos when I can on Fridays, and so I'll try to do it on Thursday so it can be ready. And there's times when I'm like, it's just not working great, and I just mush all the dough right back together again, and then we start it again. Okay, so this is kind of where it is. So it's not about destruction, it's about regeneration and reconstruction. It's about rebuilding. Okay, if you've ever done a Lego and you've made a mistake on step 3 that you don't notice until step 25, you know that sometimes you have to just burn it all down, take it all apart, and start back again so you can build it up stronger and better. So this is a really, really encouraging card. People look at this card and they're like, oh, it's desolation, it's so sad, this card. And I actually think it is such a great card because it is so much about rebirth and and new opportunities and new things that are ready to sprout. So you have this, 6 and 4, so it's the 10. So we're closing one door and we're getting ready to open the next door. And so it's really, I find the regeneration card to be a very exciting card because it is full of potential. It is so full of potential. And if you've ever walked in a place where there's been a wildfire, you can see how fast these things sprout up from the ground. New growth sprouts so fast. And so this is where they're saying is while it may feel like things are deteriorating, that new growth is coming and it will happen fast. So that is very, very exciting. All right. All the thank yous. All right, so we have Robin, and Robin is new here, yay. And we have Robin, and where was it? We had Tracy. Okay, so, and then Ruby. Okay, so Robin, let me get back where I can see your name. So Robin, this is card number 9. This is Treasure Island. And so the Treasure Island cards, you can see you have the turtle, and he's got his house on top, and all the flying butterfly hearts are there. And so, Robin, this tells you that you have everything inside of you, that you have everything with you, you have all the tools, all the materials, you have everything that you need right now to go forward, that everything is about knowing your worth and your value, and that you have everything that you need to go forward in the direction that you've chosen, and that this is a 9 card. So you also are coming to the end of a journey of that regeneration, and you've picked up your stuff and you are taking it with you in a new direction. And so this new direction that you are choosing to go in, that you have everything that you need to be successful in this new direction. So trust yourself, trust the universe. Okay? All right, so that was for Robin. And let's see where we are. I thought there were 2 more. Tracy and Ruby. Okay, so Tracy, we have new life. And this is card number 39. So 3 and 9 is 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is 1, 2, 3. So this is 3. You've heard me talk about the 3s already, that there's more to it. That there is more to it than what meets the eye at the moment, Tracy, and that you are wanting to lean into what is coming. So that kind of like that regeneration card, this would be the next card for the regeneration card. So that you have this new life, and this is everything that you've been working for and waiting for, Tracy. So everything that you have been putting together, this is about celebrating it and staying in the light, staying in the joy and the gratitude of it, that you are moving in this direction that you've been working towards. And this is also everything that you have envisioned and as coming for you. Now, this also is a reminder, as you can see, there's lights going out in all these different directions. That is a reminder not to be in blinders. Okay, so this is a reminder that as you're getting ready and that you are expanding on your new adventure and you have all the tools to help take you there, we don't want to be stuck in our ego of intractability. So we want to look at it and go, okay, I'm excited for this new adventure. I know I have all that I need. I know that I'm ready to go and that this is the time, but I want to make sure that I'm open to new perspectives as well. We don't want to be so ingrained in what it's supposed to look like that we forget to be open to those signs and guidances from the universe. And so if something is going in this direction and we need to have a course correction and Spirit is trying to guide us, we're not being like, nope, this is what it's supposed to look like, because that's where we can blow it all up. Okay? All right, so Ruby Brock. Chris says, I need that message so far. You bad. Everything is hard. I'm completely overwhelmed all the time. It's not nice to make your friends cry. I didn't make you cry on purpose. I love you. All right, so Ruby, I love you, my Chris. All right, so Ruby, this card is 45, which is also a 9. So we're seeing a lot of 7s and 9s today. And this card is upside down. This is the time to go card. And so this card is reminding you to let go of the things in the past that are not serving you. They love your guts as well. And you are welcome. So Ruby, this is reminding you that you do not need to stay in a situation where you are not safe or supported or wherever those boundaries that you need to set. And so what the thing is that you have this door way over here. Try to get where you can see it in the light. So you have this bridge, and then the door is way over there. There is a door, and it is time for you to walk through it. So whatever it is that has been pulling on you, it is okay for you to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm putting some boundaries in place. I'm putting a line in the sand. I don't have to stay. I don't have to stay where where I was or where I wasn't needing to be. Okay, so this is really a card that encourages you so much to just close some doors, set some boundaries. We don't have to cut relationships. Like, we don't have to be like, you know what, F off. We don't have to be like that when we're trying to end those, create those boundaries, Ruby. We can love people away. Okay, I have people in my life that I still love them very, very much. I don't want them in my life, but I still love them. Way the hell over there. Okay, and so Ruby, this is what they're talking about, is it's totally safe for you to get up and to go and to say, I'm putting in some boundaries. Okay, all right, so before that we had Tracy, and then before that we had Treasure Island, which was Robin's, because I think Robin said she was popped out and popped back in. And so this, Robin, was the card that we had pulled for you, I believe. You might want to go back and watch the replay, just double check, but I believe, Robin, the card was the 9 card, which is the Treasure Island card, which was telling you that you have everything that you need for the new adventure. So this 9 is telling you that where you are now, the doors are closing. There is a chapter that is ending for you. So if you're looking for a new job, though, while I can't tell you for sure that you're going to get the job, specific job that you asked for, I can tell you that it does feel very good, that you are moving into a new situation. And this card with the turtle tells us it's going to take a little bit of time, but he's very graceful in the water, and he's got a lot of skill, but everything that he has, everything he needs, he's got with him right here. And you see the little hearts and butterflies and things that are going around the turtle. So everything looks really, really positive for you to close one door and open another door. So while I'm not going to tell you I guarantee that you're going to get a job, it does look very positive that you are absolutely going in the right direction and that you have everything that you need to succeed. Okay, all right, so we're going to pull one more card for everyone as the collective to close it all up, and this is the card, the Fates. I love this card. This card is 17, so again, there's that 7, but 1 and 7 is 8, which reminds us of the infinity symbol, right? So here we have the Fates, which reminds us that for whatever it is that we're doing, wherever we're going, whatever adventures we're embarking on, or chapters that are closing or opening, that we are not alone, that we have so much support from the other side if we are willing to be open to it. Okay, so our job is to say, I hear you, I see you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so for me, it has been so brought close to me for this last couple of days. I had my birthday was at the end of December, and my twin flame's birthday is the very next day, and his anniversary of passing was about 2 weeks before that. So when we were coming into that time, which is a really difficult time, to be able to say, I know you're around me, I need to know that you're around me. And so when we were out on his birthday, we met these lovely people and who were friends of friends, and the gentleman's name was the same name and the woman's name was Angela. And so Angela Angel. And the very next day I got a new client who was from the town where he lived. So there are those kinds of signs. So if you're waiting for like, a sign from the universe, those are not the things that generally happen. It's the things that say, like when I went in for knee surgery a couple years ago, the gentleman, the male nurse that was taking care of me, had the same name. And I was like, I see what you just did there. It can be that simple. Our job is to say, I see what you did that. Thank you for doing that. I receive that. I'm so grateful to know that you are with me. Okay? These are the ways that we say thank you, is gratitude. They can do so much more for us if we can ask them and stay in the place of gratitude. So as we finish our time together today, the last card that I pull is the Fates, which reminds us that we are so not alone. They are with us if we are willing to open our hearts, open our minds, and say, show me. And then when they do, we say, I saw that. I received that. I thank you. So, I see you, I receive you, I thank you for spending time with me today. So happy to be back with you. Wish you all a happy, healthy New Year. If you came in a little late, definitely go back to the beginning of the video so you can see all the exciting things that are going on and what's coming up for us. We're really, really excited. It's going to be a great new year. I know there's a lot that's going on, but we've got a lot of stuff to help make it be awesome, and you are a part of that. So thank you for being part of our community of light, and always, always, always remember how very much you are loved. Mwah. See you next week.